Hi everyone, so I've got a new video for you. This box arrived in the post and I was very excited, and so I haven't opened it yet. This is me opening it now for the first time, so I'm seeing what you're seeing. And we've got a new die cutting machine from Kokorosa Studio. Very excited. So we're going to unbox it now and just see what's inside. So we've got these foam pads on the side to protect it, and it's very well packaged. On this right hand side here you've got the plates, and they're all nicely put in a nice cellophane bag, and they're safely tucked away into that foam packaging, so that's keeping it very safe. Do like the way that was in that little compartment there. And then on the other side here you've just got obviously that's where the plates were there. So that's that side, and then on the other side it is just a foam piece that's protecting your handle and protecting the side of the machine. So let's take a closer look at what comes in with the die cutting machine. So you've got here some dies. I don't know if I presume you'll all get different dies, but the dies are worth a certain amount, and also a paper pack, and you get 10 papers. So let's open it up and see what's inside here. Okay, so inside here you've got some papers. These are double-sided. You've got orange, a yellow, a green, red, a paler yellow, a blue, a pink, a paler green, like a lilac and a blue. Yeah, so they're all in there. They're double-sided, which is nice. They feel like they're about a 120 maybe GSM. I'm not sure exactly what weight they are, but they're a good weight. So decent that is, so that's good. Then next up we've got the dies. And as I said, I'm not sure if everyone gets the same dies. I wouldn't have thought you do. But this is the set I've got, which I'm very pleased about that I got these, because, you know, foliage dies can be very useful. And these look like sort of shadow ones. So this first one here is just over 2 inches long by about 1.5 inches. That one there's about 1.25 by about just over 2 inches. This one is about 2 inches by about 1.25-ish. This one here is just over 2, about 2.25 by about 2 inches. This one is about 1.5 by about 3/4 of an inch roughly. This one's about 1 3/4, maybe sort of 2-ish at the widest point, by about, again, 2 inches. This one here is about 1 3/4-ish by about just over 1. This one is about 1.25 by maybe 1.5 approximately, all approximate sizes. But they look great. I think this is going to be, these dies are going to be wonderful. I love the fact that they, you know, they're all kind of outline dies. And obviously if you wanted to, you could cut the outline out, and then you could lay that down on your card and draw around it, and then you'd have a backing piece as well. So I'm very impressed with these, and I can't wait to use them. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual machine itself. So it's good and sturdy. It's got the handle on the side, and for travelling purposes, for packaging, the handle is actually tucked in. Now I know that this particular die cut machine is A5, so there's your opening. You've got 2 rollers inside. It's a decent weight. The base looks very sturdy. It's got little feet on the bottom of it, so that is an A5 measurement there for the actual plates. So there's some of the plates, they'll just fit through. I've already got an A5 machine, and it does fit. So the base itself, the actual plate, is about 9.5 inches by about almost 12, 11 3/4, so it's quite wide. Obviously that's not including the handle. On the side here you've got the handle, and all you do is you just have to pull it out and then flick it up, and that makes your handle, so then you can use it. And then it's got a very nice smooth mechanism. This die cutting machine actually has steel cogs in it, which is good. So it's nice sturdy design. I love the width there. It's very, you know, just really good to use. Got nice rubber feet on the bottom, so it's nice and sturdy to use. You haven't got to worry about it going anywhere. And then let's have a look at the plates and see what comes, you know, what the plates are. It's got some different ones in here. It's got like a base. It looks like a thick base plate. So let's have a look. We've got the thick base plate here, so that looks quite good and nice. You know, it's not going to warp or go anywhere. Got a thinner plate here, which is very, very thin, but it's kind of like a very thick acetate. And then there's 3 plates here. 2 are the same thickness, or seem to be, and then there's one that's thinner. So I'm just going to separate them out now. They're obviously quite well stuck together because I've been travelling together. But it looks, I'll work out which sandwiches you need for, you know, what things. But you've got, as you can see, a thicker piece here and then also a thinner piece. So those two pieces are the same thickness, and then you've got that one which is slightly thinner. So I shall work out, so obviously the reason why they've done all these different thicknesses is for the different sandwiches that you need, either for die cutting, for embossing folders, obviously 3D embossing folders, normal embossing folders. So you can do all of those things in this machine, which is really good. Okay, so I've had a chance to have a bit of a play with it, so I can show you now what the sandwiches are. Now, I was quite surprised with the sandwiches because the sandwich I thought I was going to have to do with the plates actually wasn't what it needs to be. So that's fine, because yeah, it works out fine. So what you need to do, if you want to, let's go with the smallest sandwich first. If you want to emboss, so I've got here just like a standard kind of embossing folder, and I've got a piece of mirror card here. And so what I'm going to do, in fact I'm going to use the smaller piece because I'm going to use that for cutting, so this is my smaller piece. So what you need to do for embossing is, you'll notice you've got two plates that are about the same thickness. So I'm just going to take those two plates, so those two plates there, I've nominated, as you can see, I've already cut a leaf out, as I was, that's why I've got that mark on there. So you want those two plates there that are pretty much the same thickness. So you're going to put your big base plate in, and then your next thickest plate. Then if you take your embossing folder and whatever card you're embossing, lay it in, and then with this edge, which is the folded edge, this is the open edge, the edge that isn't open, if you put that on facing inwards, with embossing folders it's always a good idea to do that way around. And then I'm going to put this on the top like that, and I'm going to run it through. Now, one thing about this die cutting machine that I really do like is because it's got quite a wide base, it's very sturdy. So actually, and this is a really nice chunky handle to hold on to. I have arthritis in my fingers and I find this really nice and comfy to hold on to. So you can really get a firm grip of it, and with the rubber feet on the bottom, you really do get a, you know, a nice firm grip. Okay, so we take those out, open this up, and there you have a lovely embossed panel, and it's embossed it really nicely. It hasn't gone too much. It's really good, really good. Now, I do have some 3D embossing folders. I haven't had a go with those yet, but I would imagine that what I would probably need to do is, instead of using these two that are the same, I might need to use this and maybe the thinner one. So I will have an experiment and see. But okay, so I've grabbed one of my 3D embossing folders, so I thought I'd just give it a go so you can see. So I'm going to take a piece, again I'm using Miri because it's sort of quite a decent weight of card. Put that in like that, and then I'm going to do that sandwich that I said. So I've got my thick base piece, and then one of the next thickest plates, and then I'm just going to use this one, which is thinner. So let me just show you the differences. That's the one that I was using, and I'm using the slightly thinner one. I'm going to put that on top like that, again making sure that folded edge is the one facing inwards and the cut edge is facing out. I'm going to run that through. You can feel resistance, but it's not too much. I'm going to take that out, and let's see how this turns out. Yeah, perfect. Can you see that? That's done it perfectly. I'm impressed with that. That's a really good imprint, and it hasn't perforated any of the lines. Sometimes when you put things through they can perforate, but it hasn't done any of that. That's a really good imprint. So I'm impressed with that, so that's good. So that technique then, so the embossing, if you want to do a normal embossing folder, you use the thick and then the two plates that are the same with the embossing folder in the middle. If you want to use a 3D embossing folder, you use the thick plate, the next thickness down, the embossing folder, and then the thinner plate. So that's the sandwich that you would need. If you want to die cut, then what you're going to need is the base plate. You're going to need basically all the plates. So everything that comes in is what you need for die cutting. So we're going to put that on there like that. And then I've got the thick one, the thin one, and then the one that just feels like a piece of acetate. I'm going to put that in the middle, actually. I'm going to put that in the middle just so that it's not sort of vulnerable. And I'm going to put it so that the So I've got the medium thickest, the thinnest, and then the next thinnest in between. So if I just separate those, you can see that's the sandwich I'm going, just to protect that little one, otherwise it can end up warping. The thicker you go, the less likely it is to warp. Okay, so I'm going to put this piece of card on here, and we're going to have a go with these dies and just see how they all turn out. Okay, so I'm going to run this through. There's quite a lot of resistance there, but you want quite a bit of resistance because you want it to be able to cut all the way through. So let's remove all of our layers. Oh, one's come off there. Okay, so one thing I tend to do is I flip, once I've die cut, I tend to flip things over because you can see on the back whether they've cut through or not, and they look like they have. I mean, obviously I've got quite a lot on one sheet there, so that is asking a lot for a die cutting machine to do in one go. Quite often if I put quite a few on a sheet with my other die cutting machine, I will have to run it through a couple of times, but I've literally just run that through. I haven't even run it back. So let's just see. And there you go, that's cut out really nicely. So I'm going to pop the rest of them out now, and then I'll come back to you in a moment. Okay, so as you can see, they've cut out really well. I didn't really have any problems putting them, you know, popping the bits out. There was a couple of little ones that had a bit more trouble to pop in, but I just think if you run it, I only ran it through once. If you run it through and back again, that's going to sort it. You know, if you do it like a couple of times. I have to do this anyway on my normal die cutting machine. So yeah, very impressed with that. So yeah, there you go. So that is the new die cutting machine from Kokorosa Studio. I'm very impressed with it. The other thing as well that I'm impressed with it as well, I don't think I've mentioned yet, is the fact that it looks very big and heavy. It's not actually that heavy. It's actually lighter than my other die cutting machine that I use regularly. But I love the fact it's got the very wide base. It's literally really stable. And as I said before, it's got those feet on the back. So that makes it just grips nicely. The handle's very comfortable. This at the top here is nice and big, so you can kind of hold it, you know, or grip it. And yeah, I do like it. I like the teal as well. It's very nice, very clean, very nice. So hopefully that will work very well. I'm impressed with all the different layers. Obviously, with any die cutting machine, you know, the bugbear is always about plates bending. I've not seen any of that yet. I haven't used it very much, obviously, but I haven't seen any of that yet. But I think the key really is just make sure that you keep flipping them round. So every time you put something through, next time, flip it round and put it through again. Flip it round and put it through again. Okay, so because that way, if it starts bowing that way, then when you put it through, it'll be bowing that and it'll cancel it out. So that's the key with all die cutting machines, you have that. So yeah, that's what I would say. But yeah, very impressed with that. Nice little machine, very smooth. I love the fact, as I said before, it's got steel dies in it, steel cogs in it. That is very gives me great peace of mind, that does, because as I said, I've had die cut machines in the past that have had plastic cogs and they just crack and break. They can last for a bit, but being steel dies, I'm hopeful this is going to be a good one that's going to last for quite a long time. So this is going to become my die cutting machine now, because my other one's sort of, it's been around for many years and it's starting to bite the bullet a little bit, start to kick the bucket. So yeah, so there you go. So if you go over to Kokorosa Studio, you can use my code ICE20, which you get 20% off your order. This came in super quick time. I ordered this and literally, I think it was either the next day or the day after, and I think it was the next day it came. So yeah, usually Kokorosa Studio, because obviously it's coming from China, it takes about 2 weeks roughly. It's not too bad, sometimes less than 2 weeks. I have to say their delivery times have massively improved. So yeah, so that is it for today. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Go and check them out. Links are all in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!